She's not even our real granddaughter. Why is she on stage? My mother-in-law said loudly as parents turned to stare. My daughter froze mid-step. I stood up. Enough. My name is Rachel Turner. I'm 36 years old. I work as a school administrative assistant, and I've raised my daughter, Lily, mostly on my own after separating from my husband years ago. Lily is 9 years old now, kind, hardworking, and she was so excited about her school graduation. I wanted it to be perfect for her. But my in-laws never fully accepted Lily because she was born before marriage. They always treated her like an outsider, even during family gatherings, holidays, big moments. I tried to keep the peace for years, hoping things would improve, that maybe they'd soften over time. I stayed quiet to protect my daughter from conflict, thinking silence was the right choice. I believed that time would change their attitude, that love would eventually win. But small comments and cold behavior continued year after year. So I focused on giving my daughter a better life through hard work and stability, building something solid for just the two of us. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. I protected my child no matter what it cost. If you've ever had to protect your child from your own family, you know how hard it is. The guilt, the anger, the exhaustion. Subscribe if this resonates with you. Share your story in the comments. Click hype or like if you've ever had to stand alone. The school graduation ceremony began in a decorated auditorium filled with balloons, banners, and proud parents taking photos. The air smelled like fresh flowers and coffee from the reception table set up in the back. Parents were seated in rows, smiling, recording videos, clapping for their kids. Lily walked toward the stage nervously but excited, wearing the white dress we'd picked out together the week before. I watched with pride, my phone out, recording the moment I knew she'd remember forever. Then my in-laws arrived late, making noise as they pushed through the row to sit in the front. They didn't apologize. They just sat down loudly, whispering to each other immediately. I heard my mother-in-law first. She shouldn't even be up there. Then my father-in-law. This is embarrassing. Their voices were loud enough for the parents sitting nearby to hear. Lily heard them too. I saw her slow down, her shoulders dropping, her face falling. Other parents started glancing over, uncomfortable, confused. I tried to ignore it at first, hoping it would stop, not wanting to ruin the moment for her. But the comments escalated into open criticism, loud enough now that people were turning around. Lily froze on stage, unable to move, her eyes searching for me in the crowd. The room became uncomfortable, silent. Then the principal stopped the ceremony midway and called for everyone's attention. The humiliation didn't stop there. After the event, my in-laws acted like nothing had happened. They cornered me outside near the parking lot while Lily waited in the car. My mother-in-law crossed her arms. "You should be grateful we even attended." My father-in-law nodded. "We were just telling the truth." I stared at them, my jaw tight, my hands shaking. Later that evening, my ex-husband called. I thought maybe he'd finally stand up for his daughter. Instead, he told me to stop overreacting. "They didn't mean it like that, Rachel. You're making this a bigger deal than it is." He minimized the situation and blamed me for being too sensitive, for causing drama. I hung up. I felt anger rising in me, but I stayed calm for my daughter. I went to her room and held her while she cried, confused about why her grandparents didn't like her. I comforted her the best I could. And in that moment, I realized this behavior would never change. I stopped trying to keep peace and started thinking differently. I wasn't going to protect their feelings anymore. This ends today. What they didn't know was that I had already documented everything. I'd been recording incidents for months, keeping messages, saving voice recordings, writing down past comments they'd made at birthdays, at family dinners, at school events. I wasn't paranoid, I was prepared. I had also informed the school administration earlier about possible issues, letting them know my in-laws might cause a disruption. I didn't go into detail, but I gave them a heads up. I had a plan they never saw coming. I knew the school had strict policies about respectful behavior, especially toward children, and I knew they took those policies seriously. I prepared to protect my daughter if things escalated, and they did. I stayed calm through the whole ceremony, letting my in-laws believe I would stay silent again like I always had. But my confidence was building. I had proof, I had support, and I wasn't backing down this time. The school principal had always respected my work. We'd worked together for years, and he knew my situation because I'd shared concerns with him before the event. After the incident, he stepped in privately, pulling me aside after most of the parents had left. "Rachel, I saw what happened. I heard it." I nodded, my throat tight. He reviewed the situation carefully and confirmed there were witnesses, other parents who'd heard the comments, teachers who'd noticed Lily's reaction on stage. Meanwhile, my in-laws grew more arrogant. They told my ex-husband they'd done nothing wrong, that I was being dramatic, that I needed to get over it. They believed I would stay quiet like before, that nothing would happen. But I was preparing for a direct confrontation. The principal arranged a formal meeting at the school, inviting my ex-husband and my in-laws to discuss the incident. The tension built in the days leading up to it. I stayed calm, knowing the truth was on my side. The meeting was held in the principal's office, a small room with a large desk, bookshelves lining the walls, and the faint smell of paper and ink. My ex-husband sat on one side with his parents. I sat on the other. The principal sat behind his desk, his expression serious, professional. My in-laws walked in confidently, acting like this was a formality, like they had nothing to worry about. They defended their actions immediately. "We didn't say anything wrong. She's too sensitive. We were just being honest." The principal let them talk, then he calmly presented recorded statements from other parents who'd been sitting nearby. He read witness reports from teachers who'd observed the disruption. His voice was steady, firm. "This behavior is unacceptable, especially toward a child." He played a recording of their comments, captured by another parent's phone during the ceremony. The room became tense, silent. My in-laws' faces went pale. I remained calm, sitting with my hands folded, my expression neutral. The principal explained the school's policies about respectful conduct at events and outlined the consequences. My in-laws were formally warned and restricted from attending future school events unless they could guarantee respectful behavior. My ex-husband was confronted directly about his lack of support for his daughter. The authority in the room shifted completely. I finally spoke, my voice firm, steady. "You don't get access if you don't show respect." My in-laws tried to argue, but they'd lost control of the situation. Their public image was damaged within the school community, and I had taken back control as a parent. I set firm boundaries with my in-laws and my ex-husband after that meeting. I limited their involvement in my daughter's life, made it clear what was acceptable and what wasn't. I focused on creating a safe and supportive environment for Lily, one where she didn't have to question whether she was loved or valued. Lily regained her confidence with my support, and we spent more time together doing things she loved, rebuilding what they'd tried to break. I no longer sought approval from people who disrespected my child. I didn't care if they thought I was difficult or dramatic. I prioritized my daughter's well-being over family expectations, over keeping the peace, over anything else. They tried to make her feel small, but all they did was show me exactly who deserved to be in her life. If you've ever seen your child treated unfairly or disrespected, you know how powerful that moment is. The anger, the clarity. Share your story in the comments. Subscribe to Stand with Parents Who Protect Their Children. Click Hype to help this story reach others who need it. Standing up for yourself is tough. If you've been there, subscribe and become part of our community. Let me know this story helped by clicking hype, and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel.